And welcome to the Mega Man 4 race. And here we have Jokaah against Prisiii3, running Rockman 4. This should be an excellent race. This is just such a great Mega Man game. Just continuing the NES portion of the, or I guess the Mega Man portion of the NES block. So, yeah, nice little password art there by Mr. Prisiii. So, yeah,
right.
Really excited for these races. So if the runners are ready, I'll just give us a countdown and we can get started. So we'll go in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so right off the bat, we have a slight route variation in Mega Man 4. It's kind of a toss-up between Bright first and Pharaoh first. It does come down to runner's preference a little bit. Technically, if executed correctly, Pharaoh first is a little bit faster. But both of these stages are very scary for a couple of different reasons. So on Prisii's screen, doing Bright Man stage, she's just going to make a lot of these difficult sort of jumps across the grasshoppers. And Jokaah is going to be trying to collect the balloon power-up from Pharaoh Man's stage, and yes, he makes the slide jump over the gap. That is actually a really scary portion, because if you fall, you kind of have to eventually come back to the stage later or like improvise in order to get this like really critical balloon power-up. So Prisiii on Bright Man's stage doesn't have balloons, so he kind of has to do the entire stage with just the Mega Buster and ride across all these grasshoppers. We'll see when Jokaah comes to the stage a little bit later, it can be done a little differently with balloons. So here we are, just making our way across the grasshopper. We can already see how this game kind of, one of the kind of common complaints of it, or at least observations, is the sheer amount of lag that kind of occurs when you know, a lot of different sprites are on screen. So Prisii's through the rest of the spike sections. That's always a nice relief. Jokaah making his way through the rest of Pharaoh stage here. And yeah, so just like any other Mega Man game, every stage sort of has its platforming gimmicks, its own unique sets of enemies and mechanics that you kind of get introduced to, and then all this stuff is wrapped up later on in the game. Riding these moving platforms in this darkness section on Prisii's side, they're both hitting the boss door at roughly the same time. So also both of these bosses, taking them out with Buster is not too much time lost compared to actually having their intended weakness. You see on Prisii's screen, fighting Bright Man is actually sort of a puzzle fight. You want to deal certain amounts of damage in order to prevent him from using his Bright Stopper attack, which is more or less unavoidable. So both runners are having pretty much no issue with these fights. Very nicely done. And you see there's even stuff going on after the bosses are defeated, like trying to defeat bosses close to the edge of the screen to reduce lag, and also trying to wind up in the very center pixel of the screen to kind of skip a jumping animation. You'll see them do that on pretty much every boss fight. And at this point, they're basically going to swap levels, and you'll see each of the two stages done slightly differently, with the opposites power-up in play here. The most striking change is going to be on Jokaah's stream here.
I'm not doing the balloons.
He's not doing balloons, so it actually might be very similar as to Prisii's. But even on Prisii's side, you can see him been switching to Bright Stopper immediately to kind of freeze time briefly and prevent these annoying sand scorpions from spawning. But just like on Jokaah's side, he has to make the slide jump, and he gets it. Excellent. And so both of our runners successfully obtaining the balloon. And something to note just about the Bright Stopper is it's extremely overpowered in this game. It's very, very useful. Unlike Mega Man 2, with the exception of the Atari DNIC we just saw, which is, the Bright Stopper is actually very similar to that, in which it's like a reusable, like time-freezing weapon. And it's extremely useful because enemies that normally have some kind of invulnerability shield will take damage from the Buster when time is stopped. And you just have so many uses of it. We'll see it employed throughout many of the stages in this run. So Jokaah, while he's not using balloon, he is making good use of the Pharaoh shot, which will also be used against the boss.
Yeah, the biggest time save of this route is actually the boss fight and not the balloons you can do in the stage.
Yeah, so fighting Bright Man with Pharaoh shot, the shots do pretty much the exact same damage as the Mega Buster, but using a sort of a glitch with the Pharaoh charge, You can score multiple hits with a fully charged shot. You can score 2 full hits with 1 charged shot, allowing you to just have slightly higher DPS. And Jokaah also having to very carefully manage the amount of damage he does to Bright in order to prevent the Bright Stopper attack.
Oh, fuck.
Both players also struggling to line up here at the end of the fight. Very nice, very nice. And as you can see on Prisii's screen, how Mega Man sort of teleports to the center, we should see the same thing happen on Jokaah's screen. Just, you know, this game, and like just many of the other Mega Man games, there's all sorts of like minute time saves if you want to go for. Just kind of all over the place that might not be obvious. And from here on out, the route will be pretty much the same. Moving on to Ringman, and now pretty much the most useful weapons are in our possession, as well as the most useful item, which is the balloon. The balloon getting some pretty extensive use here in Ringman stage. The balloon's hitbox is very generous. It's very easy to jump on it. And you can even place a balloon up against a wall, and even though the wall will cause it to despawn, during the despawning animation, you can still stand on top of it, allowing them to traverse these annoying turret screens pretty quickly. Ringman stage is pretty unique in that it has all sorts of these mini boss fights. You'll see a couple appearances of these hippos, but you don't even really have to fight them. You can just kind of destroy the pillar and damage boost through them. No big deal at all. And the core mechanic in Ringman stage, besides all the mini bosses, is this sort of disappearing platform. Neat little setup here with the Pharaoh shot to kind of take damage and take down the boss immediately. Both players getting through that ring mini boss no problem. Really,
this stage is actually really scary. Like the first 4 stages in this game is really scary.
Yeah. This the very beginning of this game is very brutal. It'll be kind of a breath of fresh air going into the later half of the Robot Master stages, that's for sure. And the sort of different colored moving platforms here appearing now from the opposite side, kind of just jazzing up the challenge a little bit. And Prisii sliding into the mini-boss, it's pretty risky because it does 8 damage on contact. Jokaah doing the same, both entering the Ringman fight with 4 HP, but fortunately there's no RNG in this fight, so if players execute properly, we should see a clean fight. Nice kill by Prisii here.
No.
Very nice. Both runners through Ringman. So even though there's no randomness in that fight, it is also a very precise fight, and Ringman moves really fast. His ring projectiles move very fast. So it's real nice to kind of have that behind us.
Yeah, the like hidden thing that makes this game really more difficult than it seems is how much damage everything does. Like, it's very brutal. Like, touching bosses does 8 damage. Most stuff does like 4 or 6 damage. Very easy to die to just damage.
Yep, that's right.
Here comes the scary stage.
Yeah, onto Dustman stage. Both players making use of the Bright Stopper in this first screen. It's also possible to use Pharaoh Shot, but it's quite scary. We can just see how valuable the Bright Stopper is here. It also is kind of cutting down on a little bit of lag, although there's still quite a bit of lag, and it's something you really have to get used to when playing this game. It's just really preparing for the lag segments and making adjustments to your jump timings.
Oh god.
Okay, good. Both players through this really scary spike section. And this is a kind of a unique mechanic in this stage, this crusher section. If both players kind of make it through really fast, they can kind of get this early cycle. And as long as you're sliding and moving relatively quickly, it's not too bad. So it looks really close, but these runners are professionals, no worries. Oh man, it was so close. You almost died. Okay, and with that crusher section, just kind of wrapping up Dustman stage here. Getting the ridiculous slide underneath the Stomper guy. That's actually probably like a frame perfect thing. Like you want to chain your slides like immediately in a row. Dustman, one of the kind of first big time RNG fests.
Oh, come on.
you want to really hope that he doesn't
come
do
on.
what's happening on Prizzi's screen here, where he
Good
does this
stuff.
vacuum cycle. It causes a long period of invulnerability. And what you can do is, when he starts that, you can run into him and take damage. Very nice fight, guys. Good race so far. Oh,
No!
quick, get on the pixel.
No.
Oh, man. So Jokaah losing like, 0.3 seconds or something there. Look at that jump. That just wastes so much time. All right, that's okay.
Hey, that's only fair. I missed the last one.
Okay, trading pixels. I like it. But yes, as soon as you see Dustman kind of do that vacuum cycle, if you run into him and take damage, you can force him to kind of re-roll which pattern he does, but Prisiii really getting unlucky there, getting multiple vacuums, and you can only do that so much because, as Jokaah said, they do 8 damage on contact. Of course, Mega Man having 28 HP in this game. Skullman, a really cool stage. This is the only instance I think it's the only instance these days, that you'll see a zip, good zip setup by Prisiii. And this is also a heavy balloon used stage. There's just a lot of really interesting movement, a lot of traversing screens vertically. You can see a lot of these like wall balloon jumps, really cool stuff. There's a lot of kind of subtleties with the cycles and some of these like shield enemies here, and you want to be kind of cognizant of the amount of lag that your balloons cause. That's kind of why it's also nice to place the balloons against the wall and have them despawn. They just don't linger around and cause lag. Pretty much all the balloons get used in this stage here. And a switch back to, and here's an illustration of the Bright Stopper actually removing the invulnerability shield of certain enemies, being able to shoot these like, I don't know what you call these, like mole guys from the back. We'll just call them moles.
Oh, okay.
Moles, worms, I mean, skulls throwing bones. These sorts of robot designs, they don't quite make sense, but I suppose it makes for a fun video game. But, well, put your trust in Wyly. They seem to know what they're doing. Moving into the Skullman fight, this fight can be heavily manipulated based on your position, how close you are to Skullman. You can kind of force him to do certain types of jumps. But there is one big kind of RNG factor in this, and that's how long Skull stays invulnerable with his shield. I think there's like 3 different invulnerability lengths, and you just got to be ready to react. Jokaah having a little bit better RNG there. Prisiii kind of having the longest.
So close. I jumped a little bit early.
Almost died.
So Prisiii actually going for a slightly new strat there, saving one extra balloon.
Time. Teeth mashing time.
He's mashing time.
Okay, we might get to see something special here. A Prisiii patented teeth mash strat coming up in Dive Man. Okay, I can imagine where it is.
Yes.
Dive Man, the unique mechanics of this stage being having a lot of underwater sections. Something about Mega Man 4 and water. So Mega Man 4, just like Mega Man 3, has the sliding mechanic. Also, just to let you know, it does introduce the charge buster shot mechanic, but something to note about being underwater in this game is that while you're sliding, you cannot jump unless you sort of like turn around first. It's while underwater, actually. So being underwater changes the sort of mechanics of your slide.
One shot.
Prisiii going for the teeth mash there. You could definitely hear that and see that. And yeah, making good use of the Bright Stopper to kind of stop these whales before they fully spawn, or at least as soon as they have a hitbox. And yeah, both players just being really careful with that slide jump. Like I said, slide jumping underwater is very scary. You want to wait for the full duration of the slide or turn around. And using a Bright Stopper here, just in case the Stomper does a low jump, and he did a low jump on both of their screens there. And you don't want to slow down on any of these screens because you want the water movement cycle to be in a favorable position. We have the teeth mash here again, really wanting to get the whale defeated in 2 jumps.
Did you die? Oh god.
You need to switch weapons. Okay.
All right, we're good.
Okay.
I think.
You're fine. You're fine. Yeah.
What's the weapon? Oh.
Using Skull Shield to get through some of these stingrays here.
Got the second one in 1 jump at least.
And both players fortunately opting to pass on the wire power-up. Not. So instead of having Rush or the items from Mega Man 2 or the Magnet Beam from Mega Man 1, there is the balloon and the wire as extra weapons in this game, or extra sort of platform.
Come on.
Okay.
Okay, Prisiii making it through that boss. So Prisiii had 8 HP and dive band will do 8 damage on contact, so that was pretty close. But running out of skull barrier there.
Okay.
Nice. Okay, so there is an additional time save that's possible on a few of these Robot Master defeat screens. Not only by being on the center X pixel on the defeat, if you can actually jump up and be on the exact Y pixel, on the exact frame that the boss defeat animation occurs, you can skip that entire animation sequence, saving it a few more times and Prisiii getting it beautifully there. And that's only really possible in a few of the boss stages where you can actually jump high enough to get to the center of the screen, such as being underwater. Moving on to Drill Man stage. This is one of my favorite stages.
Yeah, until the boss, it's a kind of good stage.
Until the boss fight, yes. Drill Man, very, very much notorious. Jokaah getting some pretty good luck on these bats here. The main mechanic in the Drill Man stage is coming up here with the sort of lights that you can turn on and off the visibility of these platforms. Not only the visibility, but the hitboxes of the platforms. A couple of low jumps here. These turrets are really annoying. You want to freeze time like something like in the first 5 frames of getting control, or else they shoot a bullet and it's really hard to get by them. Okay, Prisiii was able to freeze time and not have the bullets on screen, so Prisii's catching up just a little bit thanks to that.
2-framer, I think.
A lot of mashing in this section as you're kind of climbing up these stairs and taking down these crazy wheel robot things. Both players on the sort of light switch screen. You need to hit each one of these light switches in order to make the platforms appear. And using the Bright Stopper actually cancels out a lot of the lag on this screen. These boulders will drop from these chutes on the ceiling, and they kind of split apart into several projectiles, and it causes a huge amount of lag. So onto Drill Man.
Let's go, Drill.
Let's go. My best friend.
Big time RNG fest in this. After he goes underground, he can just choose to go right back underground, and he's underground for something like 5 seconds.
Oh god.
And he can do that like twice. Okay, Jokaah getting a perfect build pattern. Prisiii getting a few hits in before he goes underground, but
was kind of scary.
As you can see, okay, Drill did not go underground, so that's only 1 cycle underground. Not too bad, not too bad. Get that pixel in there. You got it. Because Mega Man moves at something like 1.5 pixels per frame when you're walking, you sometimes aren't on the right sub-pixel in order to make Mega Man walk onto the exact center pixel, so you can kind of offset that by sliding a little bit, since sliding is at a different speed. So you'll see both runners just kind of see if they're on the right pixel, and then if not, they have to quickly react and slide and then try to line themselves back up.
I'd like to say that Drummer is not my friend anymore. It's over.
Yeah.
He's good for now.
Well, try not to upset him too much, because he will make one more return appearance
That's true.
later on in the run. So maybe he'll be nice to you, if you be nice to him.
Can I jump in for a quick donation?
Oh, yep, go ahead, please.
Yeah, we have a $5 donation from Avon Chaos, who asks, Prisiii, how mad would you be if I asked you to pick up a 1-up during ESA?
What?
Sorry.
Well, we might see a Mega Man 5 reference or two here in Mega Man 4. This game does have quite the drop chance for extra lives.
Sorry, I missed the question. I had to focus.
Oh, no! You're fine, you're fine. Keep up the good work. The thing about a Toadman stage,
it's like very easy and very, very scary at the same time.
Yeah.
and there's all sorts of different mechanics at play. We have this sort of unique snail mini-boss, and if you freeze time early enough, you can actually completely bypass both of the snail mini-boss fights. There's also these brief underwater sections. There was the wind-blowing section at the beginning, and there are these sort of waterfall current sections that both players already passed through earlier. And again, wanting to be kind of cognizant of slide jumping underwater. Both players making it through the stage beautifully. The Toadman fight itself is actually very easy. If you don't really know what to do, kind of like Brightman, he has an unavoidable attack, but his pattern is actually very easy to manipulate. As long as you're constantly shooting him, he will never do his rain flush attack. So as long as you do that, it's basically the easiest boss. No problem. We have a great race so far here.
Slow down, please.
Going too well
You're
so
too
far.
fast. You're too fast.
I
I'm
know.
old.
Cossack 1 and Cossack 2 are the two hardest stages in the game, I would say,
Yes.
if I had a vote. So,
Definitely, definitely. Cossack 1, Cossack 2, super scary.
Yeah, so we finished out the 8 Robot Masters and moving into the Wyly Step. the Cossack stages. Okay.
exactly.
So this is the first Mega Man where it's not Dr. Wyly. They sort of put in this other set of stages first, but I guess we'll see what's going to happen as we go through this castle. I mean, this. Sorry, I forgot what the story is. Cossack, I guess, was responsible
Something daughter,
for
something kidnapped, something.
Okay,
Something.
okay. Yeah, and the robot's on a rampage and save the world, but I'm sure Wyly is totally innocent. Moving into Cossack 1, this is one of my favorite stages. This, the music,
Awesome song.
Grab the ladder, okay.
the music in this stage is just fantastic. So these slinky enemies actually have a whopping 6 HP. Both runners trying to use a combination of the charge shot and just kind of mashing to take through
Good
them.
luck, man.
And the center screen here is very, very challenging, dealing with the ice physics, dealing with these long 4-tile wide jumps, dealing with the enemies popping out of the pit. Players are going to switch to balloon here pretty soon and speed up this climbing section quite a bit.
Okay.
Oh god. Okay, there's one balloon. So we have to keep track of how many balloons we use.
Nice.
Got the despawn.
So
The one that saves time.
so
Shouts to
by
Charlie.
Oh god, okay.
turning around on a specific pixel there, he was able to make that skull guy despawn. Both players having like a slightly different strat there.
I'm one balloon short now. I have somehow had to remember that.
Oh my god, I'm too scared.
Okay, no, you got it. You're through. You're through. Using the balloons to skip that kind of annoying ladder puzzle there. Onto the first Cossack boss. I don't know the name of this one. I always call him Mothman. It looks sort of like a moth.
Come on.
Raya, I think?
One
Moth
extra
Raya?
ring,
Okay.
one extra balloon use.
So a recurring theme throughout the Cossack and Wyly stage bosses is a ring.
Perfect fight.
Ring boomerang weakness. Great job, guys.
I got the spike laggy pattern.
Oh no. That's actually really hard to do because the hitbox of the ring boomerang is like 1 pixel.
Yeah, it's a pretty deceptive kind of fight there.
Here we
You can
go.
only really
Let's
hit
go.
you can only really hit the moth when it's kind of at its lowest point. Going into Caustic 2, a lot of really tight, interesting balloon jumps, especially in these first couple screens. You got to be on point. Followed by a very nice by Jokaah. Followed by a very scary spike section. You could use Rush Jet to cross this, but Rush Jet takes a long time to switch to and a long time to walk on. Making use of damage boosting and clever balloon placements to get through. We'll see how they do it.
Okay.
Oh, very nice. Jokaah's through. It's not over.
Okay, I'm too scared.
Okay, well, we'll go this way, I guess. There's one extra balloon.
Okay.
Oh, guys, these guys are insane. They're both doing the last turnaround D-boost. Let's give a round of applause for that spiking section.
What's happening?
Lots of lag. It's just the Mega Man 4 lag, so...
Okay, I remember to save the balloon.
Get in there.
Kind of an on-the-fly ammo management
Oh,
there.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Squeezing through that. I don't think
I
you're
have
supposed to be able
no
to do
idea
that.
what I'm doing. But hey, we're alive.
You're fine, you're fine.
Oh, it looks pretty good. Oh, I kind of like this strat. Okay. So somehow I'm able to sliding in midair with the kind of janky balloon physics, but all the scary
Okay,
stuff
okay,
is...
1-1, let's go.
All right.
For me,
Nope.
hopefully.
So the Square Machine, Cossack 2 boss, another large RNG
Yeah,
element.
this is like a huge RNG.
Alright, bless RNG. Let's go.
Jokaah getting the worst pattern the first time.
1-1. Oh,
Prisiii also
Oh,
getting
God,
the
what
worst
am I
pattern.
doing? Well, nope.
Okay, still possible to kill him in 2 rounds. You really want to go for a 2-round kill.
Oh, 3-3.
I'm going all in.
Hooray.
Let's go.
Prisiii landing 5 hits on the first cycle, very nice.
Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes!
Prisiii getting the
my
best
God.
pattern on the second cycle.
What? What?
Okay, Jokaah did get it in 2 cycles.
Okay.
So did Prisiii. Prisiii catching back up quite a bit thanks to that second pattern being the fastest. So that was a slow, and a slow fast by Prisiii. Yeah, so Square Machine, definitely one of the larger RNG elements. Just Rock Band 4 known for its just massive boss RNG. Moving into Cossack 3, if there's any donations, this would also be a great time to have them. This is the only auto-scroller in the game.
We do. We have a $5 donation from TL at Shaw, and we have a $50 donation from Laukid. We also have a $10 donation from Anonymous, and an $10 donation from Apollo22237 saying, excited for the Mega Man block and got a shout out to Corvus for being amazing for setting up a 30-person relay race at an incredible event like ESA. Thank you all for your donations. Please do keep them coming in. We do have a few more runs before we have to close the incentive for the Open Mario Golf. Keep them coming. We appreciate you all.
Okay, so moving through Cossack 3, like I mentioned earlier, this is actually this is an auto-scroller, kind of rare for a Mega Man game. But they're going to use this opportunity to not only rock out to the awesome tunes, but to refill on some critical weapon energy, such as the ring boomerang and the balloon, because they're just so useful and versatile through the rest of the game.
Oh, got okay.
Wanting to kind of hug the right side of that screen and grab the ladder as soon as it spawns, and kind of Mega Man sprite glitching out a little bit there. Want to slide to the center of the screen as soon as you can in order to get the auto-scrolling to begin. And due to the kind of unique jumping platform mechanics.
Yeah, the janky platforms.
Players both going to switch to Pharaoh Shot, and as long as you never actually release the Pharaoh Charge, you will not consume ammo, so they'll just use this to safely take down all of the enemies here. All of these little Saturn guys, and there is some lag that can be caused on this stage. So there is a little bit of strategy and saving time just by taking out these enemies and getting rid of these platforms. And it's just very important that nobody takes any deaths on this stage because there is no checkpoint right before the boss. I believe it'll send you back halfway through the stage.
Okay, should I do it?
Probably not.
Right.
Do what you're comfortable with. So
we're going for it.
These are the cockroach twins, I think, maybe?
Oh, I did that.
So weak against Pharaoh Shot, again making use of the double damage glitch. Okay, both players hitting both of the cockroaches with that single Pharaoh Shot with a very timed diagonal down hit. Very nice, both players getting it.
Well, I'm either gonna hit the balloon and gain more time, or I'm gonna miss the balloon and you're gonna be in the lead.
Oh yeah. You do the balloon strat. Because I'm not.
So slightly new-ish, I don't know, balloon strat in this. So you save one balloon for this stage, so you don't have to use rush coil.
Yeah, moving into Caustic 4, this is unique in that it's sort of a multi-path stage. You can choose to go, there's two different choices that you can make, and there's the path that involves either using rush coil or balloon, in this case, in the newer strat, to access the upper gate. It looks like Prisiii is going to actually use rush coil, which is slightly slower, but it's actually it's subtly annoying. Jokaah getting the really nice balloon jump and not having to use rush coil, but kind of messing up the menu there.
Gaining no time whatsoever.
And yeah, that's kind of necessary to get through to take this alternate path. And of course, drill missile used to destroy drill bomber used to destroy these the barriers in this game.
Where was this then?
And both players maybe just like 3 seconds apart from each other, making their way into the final screen of Caustic 4.
This boss is terrible. Like it's terrible boss fight. And it's like the only difference between Japanese version and American version.
Yeah, in the North American version, Cossack will actually stall, I think, for the first few seconds of the fight.
Yeah.
And that's like one of the only differences. And also, if you happen to be sliding while he decides to move, he'll actually only move like a pixel. So they'll use this to kind of manipulate his position. You'll see that they're both using Mega Buster. So Caustic 4 defeated, you actually only need to get him down to 2 HP for him to sort of stop and have this cutscene. And, oh, it was actually Wyly all along. He's, yeah, so, surprise.
Wyly's the bad guy.
But, yeah, they had that boss is actually weak against Dust Crusher, but Dust only does 2 damage, and they want to conserve ammunition, and it's just about the exact same time if you use a fully charged Buster Shot, which does 3 damage, so, in reality, his weakness is Charge Buster. Yeah.
There's two real stages left, and the first one is less scary, but it's like impossible to do everything right in this stage, I would say. And the
That's
second,
easy.
okay, sure. And the second one is easy and scary at the same time.
Yeah, these Wyly stages, I really love this stage. This is just a really cool stage to execute mechanically. I guess its theme is the Met stage, so basically every enemy is some variation of the Metal, including some unique ones that you only see in this stage, all the way through the boss. So just a lot of really interesting slide jumps and timed shots. Specifically, yeah, this third room here has just a lot of interesting jump shot timings.
Oh. It's impossible.
I told you,
I
yeah.
agree, Yoka.
This underwater section...
Okay, scary jumps in the underwater section.
Yeah, just due to the funny slide jump mechanics I mentioned back in Dive Man stage, you want to be really careful about jumping out of slides underwater. And these low ceiling spikes
Oh, no, okay.
are a little scary too. And you want to be careful about this transition on the ladder. You can accidentally just touch the spikes relatively easily. Timing the jump onto this rush jet is kind of critical.
Okay.
You can actually kind of press backwards on the D-pad to slow rush down and kind of get better height there.
What am I doing?
And since the menuing takes so long in Rockman 4 compared to other games, it's often beneficial just to keep rush out in that case. So they'll just kind of keep rush, use that to take down a few enemies with just an old buster.
I just shot a ring shot. Okay.
And the Mega Met, I don't know what this enemy is called, is yet another enemy weak against both Ring and Dust. It's possible to kill this guy in a kind of a minimal amount of cycles if you get lucky in the amount of time that he stays vulnerable. There's sort of 2 invulnerability phases he has.
Oh, come on.
Jokaah having a little trouble here, having to do 1 extra cycle. Okay.
Of course,
and
this game.
Little bit of a placement switch here. Prisiii barely taking the lead.
Drillman luck is coming back to haunt me.
Can you believe I had 6 hits? 6 hits.
Obviously, yeah, I believe I had 4-4-4.
Oh no.
Yeah, if the Met does the long cycle, and if you happen to have the ring on top of him on like the exact frame that he becomes vulnerable, every time you can squeeze in 6 hits.
I also wasted 2 rings, so I need to pick up.
Yeah, ring ammo ammunition is very valuable in this game. So I mean, there's still the Robot Master Refights that'll happen after this stage.
Lots of instant death in this stage.
Yes, very scary stage.
Yeah, Wyly 2, just very spike-ridden. There's a few just kind of scary pits, mostly in the first half of the stage. There's kind of a tricky section near the end as well. Just want to be very careful about crossing over this gap to the ladder. It's actually deceptively hard. I mean, if you try and grab the ladder on rush without jumping, it can be very finicky.
Yeah, it can push you off, like, even though you're holding the ladder.
I love this room.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah, it's just because it takes so long to switch weapons, the players do not want to kind of switch from rush. It's just not worth it because they still have access to the buster. But it means you have to press the button an extra time in order to summon rush. And this room, just to summon rush and just to get that 1 extra jump height is also deceptively hard. You have to jump off of rush immediately or else you fall off just when he kind of brings you into that 1 platform. And this last screen here with the kind of gumball machines coming up is also pretty scary.
Okay, come on, Arc.
Prisiii squeezing in a few slide jumps on the 1 tile wide blocks there. Jokaah does as well.
Okay, we're fine.
Okay.
So different strats in this boss?
Yep, different strats.
Okay, I haven't seen this yet. Okay, so I at least know what's going on here with the, if you switch to, Okay, yeah, so I guess if you switch to, so Rain Flush breaks the barrier in front of him as well? Okay.
No, Rain Flush fills his health immediately, so you save like 2 seconds from that. And then the drill breaks his barrier.
Breaks his hitbox.
Okay.
So you can stand inside of him. But you can skip the drill and do what Prisiii did. Saves a second.
1.5?
Yeah, if you do it like really well.
Just by dancing in front of him, you only have like a few pitches.
Yeah, but everything he does like 8 damage, so it's...
It's also RNG. You can shoot these big balls, and they cause a lot of lag with the explosion.
Okay, don't miss the pickups.
Yes, miss the pickups. I mean, don't.
Yeah, just you want to collect an exact amount a very specific amount of extra weapon energy in order to refill your ring and your dust, just because they're so effective against basically every Wyly boss and of course several of the Refight bosses. But like was mentioned earlier, most of the primary stages are done. This is the Refights stage, so
it's like the original Wyly Casino.
And just being Mega Man 4, a couple of these bosses just have insane RNG. Drillman and Dustman will make a return. And unlike fighting Pharaohman at the beginning of the game, we're going to use Dust Crusher against him. Dust only doing 2 damage. Pharaoh's weakness is technically Bright Stopper. It does freeze him, but you're only doing 1 damage per hit with the Buster. It's just never... So the Dust is actually a secondary weapon, and it's slightly faster to kill him with Dust versus sitting there charging your Bowser.
Calm down.
Pharaoh going a little crazy on Jokaah's side. Alright, Skull's the first serious element of RNG here. We'll see how long he keeps his barrier up.
Oh, come on.
He's getting a pretty bad barrier cycle once again.
Oh, come on, dude. Why are you hating me so much?
By standing close to him, and Jokaah getting the perfect cycle on him again. He's going to need that, need that to catch back up. Still only seconds apart here.
Yeah.
And Dive Man is just about the same.
It's going to be Drill or Wyly.
Messed up.
You do want to be very careful because all of your Skull ammo will be used. Skull is actually a secondary weakness. I think he's a secondary weakness of Bright Man. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we will have 1 left if we do everything correctly.
So Skull doing 2 damage per hit on Brightman. Again, they're wanting to do an exact amount of damage. There are actually 3 health values that if Brightman is at them, I think it's 3, he'll do the annoying Bright Stopper attack.
Can you jump, please?
Yeah, jump, please.
Okay. And now they're actually using his proper weakness.
Oh, not that much.
The Rain Flush, doing 4 damage per summon. And Drillman makes a return. Let's see how many dives we get.
You're not my friend. I don't care.
Come on, Jokaah.
I'm just kidding. I'm your best friend.
He's going underground. Going underground. Right away for Prisiii. Jokaah getting a little lucky here. Seems to be staying out for Prisiii for now. Get one more hit. Okay, good. Okay, only 1 time underground for Prisiii. Jokaah getting no dives, evening up the players. It is so close right now.
Oh, man.
Moving into Toadman. This is just kind of letting the players catch their breath a little bit. They'll want to just kind of end the fight near the boss, near the teleporter, so they can exit immediately. Again, just wanting to do continuous hits. Wow, that was a crazy final
the 2
hit.
scary fights.
Jokaah, have I told you about my new best friend? His name is Dustman.
Best friend.
Oh god, that was so safe.
Oh,
Players are going to want to conserve as much Pharaoh shot as they can. A little scary because Ring does so much contact damage.
Please, please.
So again, Dust can do these invulnerability cycles if he activates his vacuum.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, looks good.
Okay.
Looks good for both players.
Okay, take that
out. No vacuums. Excellent Dustman fight. Moving into Wyly Machine. There are 2 phases here. In the first phase, they're going to want to take him out with Ring. You need enough Ring Boomerang to kind of blow off the front shell. And it's important to do the last bit of damage with the Drill Missile, or the Drill Bomber. I again can't remember what the weapon is. If you take down his last HP with the Drill, it'll actually skip the second phase's health refill, and the health instantly refills. And then for hitting this weakness, you actually need to detonate the Drill Bomb just in front of the kind of orb in front of Wyly in order to do damage.
Missed 2, man. Okay. Best friend Wyly, come on. Wyly.
So, and it is not over yet, guys. It is a very close race, but Wyly Capsule in the next stage this is one of the scariest Mega Man final bosses. The boss fight is very quick, but it's a very unpredictable fight. You have very little Pharaoh shot ammo. The players are going to, depending on their health and depending on their ammo situation, it's possible to get a couple of double hits. Again, when you're charging Pharaoh shot, if you touch an enemy with the charged Pharaoh shot, you can still release the button and shoot a second shot. So it's sort of like 2 for the price of 1. And with the kind of ammo use optimization that these players have done, there should be just enough ammo to take this guy out. Although if it gets dicey, they can pull out some tricks to kind of shave off some time.
Coming up soon.
Yeah, get ready on time.
As soon as Wyly dies, it's time.
Oh, come on, man.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
Wyly not best friend.
Time for Prisiii?
Oh god.
You got this.
Oh my god.
Really bad spawn there at the end. More bad spawns. One final shot. Very nice. Okay, wow. That was actually an excellent race.
That was
man.
awesome.
Grillman best friend, everyone else sucks.
GG.
So that was just fantastic. Just switching back and forth. I mean, just
No death. No death.
No deaths, man.
deathless by both
That's awesome.
players. No major mistakes. I mean, this was just such a fantastic race. You guys really blew it away. Whoa. Yeah, thanks guys for putting on such an amazing show. Can we get like another round of applause for these amazing racers? This is like the best Mega Man 4 race I've ever seen live.
Yeah, we might have actually beaten like
Johnny and Almond?
Yeah.
Wow, so 38. 38 by both players. That's incredible.
Wow, 38-26. That's awesome. Shouts to the Barons crew. Shouts to the Classic Mega community.
Yeah, classic.
Awesome people.
MegaManLeaderboard.net. Gonna crash the site real quick.
MegaManLeaderboards.net, our official Mega Man speedrunning leaderboard website.
Yep. All right.
And yeah, thanks a lot, everybody. And stick around. We have a big Mega Man 1 relay race coming up. There's going to be 30 of us all playing. Just going to be crowding up here. It's going to be awesome. So stick around for some more Mega Man.
Probably gonna take a slight minute to set that up, probably.
Yeah. So stick around while we set up and work things out. So,
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.